Hello and welcome back to GT Retro World. Well, today we're going back in time and we're going to have a look at the 1991 to 1992 Communications Catalogue from Kernow Trading Limited. I acquired this around about 91-92. I'm not too sure exact year, but it's one of them two. And it was from the Gateshead Metro Centre, and at the time it was from Supertech. Now, Supertech was a shop that sold all sorts of tic-tac, all Chinese bits and bobs, mainly rubbish, but they had also a display of radio equipment, and they did a lot with what's in this catalogue, basically. It was quite expensive in its day, that shop. I think it was opposite the cinemas and near Pizza Hut, if I remember rightly. But we used to go up there quite a lot in the day. We used to take a load of us up there in the escort van. Yeah, always chock-a-block that van. Good old days. Anyway, we'll have a little look through it. Like I say, that's where I got it from. Supertech in the Metro Centre this, and I've had this catalogue all them years, which is bizarre really. Front page, as you can see there, guys, nice and colourful. Quite popular catalogue in its day. I know a lot of people have been going on about this over the last year or so, so I thought, right, I'll get it out. Anyway, let's have a look. Right, this is contents, terms of business. There we have the Midland 77 250k Power Max, the 7785, which was the Porter pack basically, another popular radio. I've got a couple of those, but they're in a bit of a worse for wear state, so we'll get them out one day anyway and have a prat about with them. But I'm short of microphones for them until I find them. Of that, obviously that is. I can't do much with them. Well, I could, I suppose, but yeah, I'm definitely short of a couple of microphones. So yeah, those are the Porter packs. Right, the 77104, another popular radio, as well as the 099. Like I say, these were quite popular, weren't they, back in the day, or like early 90s type of thing. Good rugged little radio, them actually. I think I've got one of them somewhere. I did have a couple at one time, but I think I gave them away over the years. But anyway, I'll have a little look. I remember this, I've never had one, and that's a 771165. Hands-free two-way radio, those would be 49 megahertz. Again, nothing of interest to me, them, like, I think they were more for like the motorbikers, the biker lads. The Jason KT 2002, that was a nice little radio. Well, I say it was nice, but it was crap at the same time, wasn't it? It was just nice to look at. Another 90s radio. Like I say, these are all 90s. They got a bit more fairy lighty and a bit blingy, didn't it, at the time? I vaguely remember this, but no. 7007. Another JSAN there, KT 4004. Yeah, I mean, they did quite a lot, didn't they, at the time, these JSANs, or GSAN, whatever you want to call them. A little GSAN Ready Rescue pack there. I bet that was pretty rugged. Looks alright, doesn't it? Vaguely remember that, but like I say, I lost a lot of interest in Andes around about then. Well, it was before then anyway. I've got a few now, I love them. The 950, that was alright. A lad over in Harburn had one of them. Used to talk to him regular. To be always on the edge of this A66 chatting on it. Not a lad in Billingham. I can't remember his name now. There's a lad on the Billingham flyover. He had a Harvard 410, I think, at the time. But he used to always hang about on the bridge over Stockton Way between Stockton and Billingham. Anyway, let's get back on with this. Little 27 meg handies here, pair of, so they'll only have a couple of channels, M14 and channel 30 there, look. Again, I've got a couple of them, they're almost bloody useless. But they were alright for like your mates, you know what I mean, if you lived a couple of doors down or whatever. You know, only, I think they're 250 milliwatt, well, that one's 200 milliwatt, this is 250 milliwatt, so you're obviously not going to get to the moon and back, are you? But yeah, they worked, I suppose. DNT Scanner FM. I remember the look of that. Again, except it wasn't my bag really at the time. We all wanted FCCs in our radios, but really no one used it, did they? I think it was just the idea of having it in your radio. But like I say, no one really wanted it. And no one really used it. It was always like Muppets, wasn't it? UK 40 FM. So yeah, there's a few more. I've got one of these in bits. These DNT Contact 40 FMs. It's absolutely shredded to bits. Yeah, I pulled it apart. I don't know why. I was probably bored over the 90s and just did it. There was nothing wrong with it either. But anyway, that's one of them things. I might have robbed something out of it, but yeah. Right, the Scan 40 FM. Do you know, since picking this catalogue back up, I don't even remember any of these. I don't even remember this high-tech either, HD 4000 at all. You know, I remember this, the HF 12.3 for some weird reason. I just remember the look of it. I just don't, like I say, well, these here, I don't remember these at all. Another DNT down here. Again, that's probably, it's 40 channels. It's a 40 channel radio, but it's only a 1 watt output. 40 channels, 1 watt output. That's a bit bizarre, isn't it? That's those handies. They look like they were quite popular back in the early 90s though, but I didn't think they were. Maybe it's just me. The Maxcom 30E, I like that. I don't care what anyone says, I think it was a nice little set. This was a good radio and all, the 20E, but it was all plastic. The build was crap on it, wasn't it? I mean, a lot of folk these days, I don't know what it is, since I've come back on, they go crazy over these bar assault mics. I thought they were awful. When you used to press a PTT, it was like squeaking and creaking. Nah, not my cup of tea. Yeah, but they worked alright. There's a radio. Maxon MX1000, those were like a blue, they were like a blue colour then. I remember buying one of them from a second-hand shop in Gisborne in the early 90s. God knows why I bought it, because I never even used it. Another Maxcom MX2000, I don't really remember that, to be honest. 49 megahertz, again, these are probably for like the motorbike lads or whatever, really. Just a two-way radio thing, no interest to me. Uniden 300 home base, I've still got one of them. The Pro 620 was SEPT, obviously, remember that. I've had one of them, well, I've had a couple of them, to be honest. I don't think I've got one, I'm fairly certain I let them go. That was another thing I let go over lockdown. Not that I'm not regretting it either, to be honest, because like I say, they were SEPT, no big interest to me. I've still got a nice audio line home base in the box as well. I just found that only a couple of weeks ago. It's very nice, actually. We'll get that down one day. But yeah, good little radio, the Uniden 300 or home base, whatever you want to call it. You know, basically it's just a 200 in a big box, isn't it? Or thereabouts. Satcom Scan 4000. I think that was quite expensive, that, you know. But that was SEPT, wasn't it? The look of it interested me, but I wouldn't have paid the money. I could be wrong, but I think that was over £200. That's UK pounds, we'll say. Yeah, I remember that in Supertext window. The Midland System EZ5. Obviously it's a little starter pack there. The 77104, and like I say, that was a good little radio, that good little solid radio for what it was. And obviously it's just to get you going, isn't it? Pre-tune magnetic mount antenna. I bet these were garbage, but I suppose for 5-10 miles or whatever, it's going to do the job, isn't it? On top of a car. The Ventura 2000, this thing's been cloned a million times, hasn't it? Skip Control 9000, that looks a modern version of the ones we used to have in the 80s. Just a multi-band receiver, really. But I remember the earlier ones, they were just AM, weren't they? They didn't have FM on them, on the CB side of it. Bearcat 50 XLT and the 55 scanners. The Bearcat 100, that was a good little scanner. Yeah. So, you know, it's all the solar blobs all over this, look. It's all over the place, isn't it? Or flux, should I say. Yeah. Fairmate HP 100E and the HP 200E. These were all quite good, weren't they? Good little scanners. When scanners were worth having, I might add. You know, the Bearcat 760 XLT, I bought one of them. Bought it from there, actually. Good little scanner. Wasn't too expensive. Yeah, it was alright, that. Like I say, them were the days when you could actually listen to something, you know, worth listening to on VHF. You know. I mean, even this, I mean, it was only about 10, 12 years ago. I was just saying to the lads at the club the other week, that 2 meters on the armbands was great. It's absolutely dead at the moment. I know they're trying to revive it a little bit with this 145 Alive, but it's absolutely dead as a dodo on there at the moment. It's a shame, really. But back in the day, obviously, we weren't really too concerned about 2 meters. I mean, 2 meters was dead anyway back in the 80s and 90s, in my opinion. You couldn't hear much. Well, you've listened to the Police or whatever, weren't you, at the time? Whether it was right or wrong, you did, didn't you? Anyway, stop waffling on, Neil. You only then Bearcat 175XL desktop scanner. Not my cup of tea. It looks very American, that, doesn't it? I think that looks like a wood grain effect on top. Can't remember it, to be honest. 16 channel. Microphones. This was a great little microphone. This, I think they did, what is it, the ProTel? I think it was ProTel, it wasn't safe. I can't remember anyway. They did another, obviously Altai have just used their name on these, but that was a good microphone, that. 7600, it was alright. Plus 3C. Obviously that's a clone of a Turner. Probably is it the Plus 3B? Like I say, these mics were okay. There was nothing wrong with them at all. You know, all decent bass mics, really, I suppose, if that's your bag, like. Onto the hand mics. Good old coffin mic. Not too sure about these here, but we all remember the DMC 437. I've got a couple of them new in the box. They're alright, you know. I don't mind them. This was probably the most popular dynamic microphone, power mic, ever made, I would have thought, for CB back in the 80s. And obviously it's selling in the 90s by the looks of it. I can't even remember that in the 90s, but these things, Jesus, the DMC 510, my goodness me. And they didn't sound too bad, you know. On the right radio, they worked okay, you know. I'm sure I've got a couple of them somewhere. In fact, have I got one in there yet? No, I haven't. I did have one lying around, but I've tidied my room up. The Echo Power Mic by Altai again, which is the DMC 315E. I had one of them and all. They were terrible. It was like boingy. It was like a spring reverb, weren't they? The way they sounded were terrible, but I say they were terrible. They were a bit of fun, weren't they, back in the day? I've definitely got a couple of them. We should get them out one day and have a listen to what they sound like, to see what we can get out of them, just for a laugh. But yeah, these bring back a lot of memories, these daft little things, don't they? These are just stock mic replacement mics here. I could do a few of these speaker mics here, look. The 77's 805. Yeah, I'm short of a couple of them, I think. Hopefully I'll find one, but it's not looking promising. Extension speakers. I was never big on these things, to be honest, so I'm not too sure what those are like or what they sound like or anything, so I wouldn't even know. No, I was never an extension speaker fan. A few more extension speakers there. PA speaker. PA speakers were good fun in the car, weren't they? Yeah. G-Con power supplies. I think my dad had a couple of them. Skip deck power supplies. Again, they're all just little dinky things, aren't they? And adapters. Just little AC mains adapters here. And chargers and whatnot. Voltage reducers here as well. For you wagon drivers. Right, we're on to linears now, or power amplifiers as they call them here. Little G-San 25 watt. Yeah, I mean, they did the job, didn't they, I suppose. This is a popular thing, isn't it? The EA150. Still replicated today, that thing, isn't it? Yeah, good little amp, them. I've got one. In fact, I've got a couple of them in bits, to be honest. They're not worth repairing, to be fair. The B300P, super popular, that thing, wasn't it? Back around about then. Late 80s, early 90s, it probably still is because they still make the damn thing. I don't know if they still use MR 454s, to be honest, I'm not too sure, but that's what they used back then. They were alright, they never did 200 watts, we know that. They did about 130, 150 maximum, them things, but they worked. They weren't super reliable, but if you were careful with them, they were fine. Controlling power, 1 to 15 watts. I wouldn't like to put 15 watts into one of them, like. Controlling power, I've never heard that term being used before, but there you go. Satagi B550PS, I've got one of them. It's a bit scruffy, I've had it a long time. I need to get that out and try it. It hasn't been used since mid to late 90s. I can't see why it won't work. My dad had a BV131. I had a few, but my dad bought his new. But I had a couple of second-hand ones. There was always the tubes knackered on them, do you know what I mean? In fact, I've got a tube here now, look for one of them. 519. There you go. New. Well, it's been on here for a while, actually. But yeah, I found a couple of them, so that's quite handy. So that's the linears. Let's have a look, next page. Oh god, SWR meters. This was popular, wasn't it? This SWR meter matcher. A load of crap really, but I suppose it did the job. You know, I think they were only, what, 20, 30 quid weren't they back then. HP 1000 Satagi, Transmatch we used to call them, didn't we? Is that what they call it? Yeah, Transmatch on there, yeah, it's still that. So I think that's still made today. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is. Preamplifiers. Do you know, I remember getting conned into buying one of them from Stockton CB Centre. I bought a 6-piece GP. It was the first vertical I ever bought. I was only, what, I don't know, 14, 15-ish, I'm not too sure. He said, you want to try one of them? And he conned me into spending my birthday money on a preamp. It looked nice beside the radio, but it did jack shit. All it did just pull a lot of crap in. No good at all them for FM, in my opinion. Rubbish. Yeah, CB weak signals, it just brought in more mess. Yeah. Or attenuation of extremely strong signals. Well, you couldn't get away from it, to be honest, in them days, could you? Anyway, let's crack on. TriStar 250 SC, I had one of them. I sold that to a local lad. It was probably just before I went off, about maybe 11, 12 years ago or something like that. He's got that around the corner. Good little frequency counter meter them. Alright. And these are just tacky little multimeters. I want these were 10 a penny, these things, weren't they? That's a popular frequency counter. The FC250. It comes in a load of different clones. That. Onto the base station antennas. Sirio 2012, very popular, not my cup of tea. I didn't like that goldfish bowl where the coil was in there, you know what I mean? I didn't like the look of it, so it just put me off. Vector 4000's always been popular, still going today. They've changed it a little bit, you know. I think they've shortened it and put that capacitance hat on the top. But other than that, it's the same electrically. I think it's identical, near enough. The boomerang, well, what can I say about that? It was what it was, wasn't it? I suppose it did the job for some people who couldn't put out big up. Tornado's still going today, can you believe it? Cracking little antenna that. I have no idea how much it was then, but it's still only quite reasonable today. I think it's about 70 UK pounds, so it's not too bad. It'll probably been about 30 quid back then. Maybe it's a bit less, I don't know. GPs, half wave, 5/8 waves, the high gain silver rods. Silver rods were popular in the early 90s, weren't they, I suppose? I don't remember this. I do remember it in the catalogue, but I don't remember how it looked or anyone who had it. You know, the high gain 2-ohm base antenna, top loaded. So obviously that was short, wasn't it? Yeah, it's 1.6 metres long. No idea. Oh, there's a blue rod. Do you know what? I saw one of those on eBay just before lockdown. A lad gave me... Wait, I put it on eBay and it went nuts. It made about 150 quid for a blue rod in the box. Couldn't believe it. I just let it run. I started off with a 5 and I thought, let's see what happens. And yeah, silly money. Rob had a blue rod. Black Mamba. That was his handle. Or Silver Ghost. Again, these boom lems. My brother had one of them when he lived in the flats. I don't know how it worked, I'm not too sure. Or was it one of these? He had one of the two anyway. I don't know why I had one of those. My brother took it off me a while ago anyway, because he was going to come back on. Whether he's still got it, I don't know. I never tried it, no interest. Thunderpole 2 and 3. I had no idea that the Thunderpole was still going in the early 90s. I've got something similar now. It's a Midland one, good few years ago, but it's still in the packet. It's more recent than this lot, like. But it's basically the same type of thing, quarter wave design. Anyway, we'll have a look at that another day. Antron 99, that's what I'm using at the moment, or was anyway, should I say. Still a decent little antenna, isn't it? Probably one of the best half wave antennas out there. And a 5.8 decibel gain, not dB, decibel, you know. They're trying to sell you this thing, aren't they? Aye. I mean, to be honest, apart from, they were a bit noisy, weren't they? They still are a little bit on FM, but they do the job, and they've stood the test of time, haven't they, I suppose. It is what it is, isn't it? I'm not that keen on plastic antennas, or we'll say fiberglass, because that's what it is. It's still plastic, isn't it? Anyway, let's have a little look. Shakespeare super big stick, never had one of them. Like, I don't think they were around for that long, were they? Mainly on ships, them things, weren't they, I suppose, but a decent brand, I suppose. Modulator 2000, no idea, I haven't got a clue. Look at this here, the Watt pole. The Watt pole! Fantastic. I mean, it was just basically a dipole with a mobile antenna on the top. I think it was a Cherokee, like a half-breed type of thing on top, wasn't it? So they were a bit less in your face. Yeah, I remember a few people having them. Delta DX, don't remember that at all. I haven't got a clue. Wavemaster, no idea. Black Shadow, no idea. Any of these loaded things to me were just to not mark up a tea, you know. Mini beam, let's have a little look at that. So boom's 1.9 meters by, and the elements are 1.8, so yeah, it's quite short there, isn't it? Dear me, that is a small beam. Half wave 3 element Yagi type mini beam. Yeah, I don't remember that, like, but hairpin design by the looks of it there. No idea though. Anyway, let's crack on. TK brackets, rotator, these are popular things when probably still make the damn thing today or something similar. You know, they were only cheap, weren't they? Popular with even the likes of a 11 metre full size beam, you know, they were alright, they did the job, I suppose. Swag poles, clamps, scanner antennas here. Discone was popular. I didn't rate these things, like, I had one up and I thought it was crap. I think a wire did it loads better than any of this junk. You know, a decent wire up and that's all you need. Slung that out. But yeah, you can see these anyway there. The Multiscan DX. Mobile antennas, the Valor, yeah, my God, do you remember the Darla Match? They were terrible, weren't they? Yeah, I remember my mate, Mick Matchbox, he had a Darla Match, he ran it for years on his Fuego Turbo. Yeah, bloody crap. Half breeds, yeah, we mentioned them, haven't we? Modulators, fantastic. The twin modu was great, wasn't it? Do you know what? I had one of them up until a few years ago as well. I let that go, that was in its packet. And I let it go. Someone was asking, have you got any mobile antennas? I said, oh, yeah, and at the time, everyone was offering me like daft money for stuff, so I just let it go, to be honest, which is a bit of a shame, but anyway, it's gone. The Modulator Black Widow, do you know what? I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. It features an efficient, heavyweight, continuously wound whip with a tuning tip. Whips have a black anodized finish. Very modern, but I don't remember that at all. Yeah, Modulator 2000, I don't even remember that. So these must have been like a 90s thing. Like I say, these were all like 80s, were in the late 80s, the Modgies. Like I say, the twin Modgie, I shouldn't have let that go, but he did offer me silly money. I just said make me an offer, and he made me an offer. At the time, I just didn't say no. I didn't even ask for any more because there's no need to, just being greedy. If someone offers you something and you're happy with it, you take it, don't you? Right, DV27. Yeah, not my cup of tea, like. But, I suppose I performed okay, you know. The T27, I don't remember that. And the DV27AF, I don't remember that either. And the DV27S, obviously that probably down to small, is it? No doubt. Let's have a look. No, that was actually that was pretty long. I wonder what the S stood for. I always like the look of this, but I never bother with it because I think it was quite expensive. That space shuttle, yeah, it was quite dear. That Midland Truckers. We were on about this the other day with Al's channel. He's been trying to work out what he's got there, but I'm sure it's a trucker because the top of them's got like squared off where the adjustable tip goes in and out. I could swear it just looks familiar. Yeah, I might be wrong, but that's what I was thinking anyway. I don't remember any of these, not too sure. I just stuck with simple stuff for mobile. I just thought it would just work, like the Red Rhino. I thought that was a fantastic antenna. I still think that's one of the best out there for the money. They're still making the day, and I can't remember what to call it now. But it's less than 20 quid, you know what I mean? And it's still going to perform as good as most of these things, really. Thoroughbreds, K40s. You get people banging on about the K40 being this and that, but in my opinion, these are all pretty much the same thing. Like I say, I remember a mini Metro years ago. I had a 9-foot whip on that, and I went back to the Red Rhino, and the Red Rhino was sometimes better, to be honest. I don't know, I'd think that they were all the samey type thing, you know what I mean? The K40, I think you just pay for that fancy box. Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. Bullwhips, more half-breeds, and these are just all, I don't know what the hell, for the Philadelphia Jewel, 500 watts, that'll take her. And that's 1.5 metres long. Half-breed QD, it looks more like a copy of a modulator, but no idea. This looks like a copy of a modulator as well. Well, these are bullwhips, they're all a very similar thing, weren't they? Sea Rangers, marine equipment here, marine antennas. Do you know what? I've got a couple of marine antennas, but they're built by Avanti, and those are from the 70s. I'll get them down one day, actually. I've got a couple of them, a couple of different variations of them, so we'll give them a go. Might be worth messing about with those. The radios wise, I'm not too sure. I don't recognise any of them. Whether my dad had one of these or not, because he was into the boats and stuff. And he's actually got a marine licence, my dad. Whether that counts for out these days is beyond me, I don't know, but he has got one. Or did have one. Mag mounts. They were just what they were, weren't they? A mag mount was a mag mount. I always went with a gutter mount, but these days we don't have gutters anymore, unfortunately. I used to like a gutter, yeah. Actually, I need one of these hatchback mounts because I've got an Alford Escort, and I need one of those for the back of that. It's an Escort convertible. It's a Mark IV, so it's quite old, so this will do. Slide mounts. Again, not my cup of tea. No way, didn't like that type of thing. No way. Antenna and radio accessories, eh? A Ringo loop, look at that, eh? That's going to do nothing, is it? Improves antenna signal by making radiator pattern more parallel to the ground. No. No, I'm not having that. No way. Yeah. In fact, put something in the comments if you think you're having it, because I'm not having that. Replacement power leads there. Look at this here. Hey, if I think out of these, I think you'd swing with these now, wouldn't you? These Amstrad ones, and especially, and the 2-pin squares. My God, these are hard work to get hold of, aren't they? I mean, I should do some of these on the 3D printer or something like it. Anyway, that shouldn't be too difficult to produce. Obviously, these two are still available, Uniden and the Cybernet ones. I think Maxons are still available as well, aren't they? As far as I'm aware. But yeah. Bit of a pain, some of them. Coaxial cable, Mini 8, I thought it was great back in the day. You needed nothing more than Mini 8, the Japanese stuff. It was great. In fact, I've still got some of that in here now, and I'm using it at the moment because I still haven't decided what I want to use, whether it's LMR 400 or some of the other specialist stuff, but probably, I mean, I should be just sticking with 213, still as good as out. I've still got a reel or two, well, not a reel. It's an old roller I had from when I was at home with my mum and dad, so it's like 80s old. It's got a few cuts here and there in it, but it looks... I should try it anyway, out of interest, because it's old as the hills. But yeah, 213 is still a good little cable, isn't it? Anyway, let's crack on. Handset accessories. Do you remember these things where you slid them over the top of the antenna? Hang on, so basically you just just slide them over the top of there, and you'd have like a little nut on the side and just tighten up against there, and they'd always do damage, wouldn't it, on the side? Yeah, rubbish them. Nikon batteries again. Oh God, I used to hate these things. They were useless, weren't they? Really. I mean, oh my God. Anyway, I won't even go there with Nikon batteries from back then. They're just annoying. Anyway, plugs and connectors. Get a bag of that lot there. Have a little look at them. I won't go over all that lot. You can have a look at them yourselves. 5-watt dummy load. We know everyone always put more than 5 watts to these, so they go bright as hell and pop. And you remember them used to have, some of them used to have like a little red rubber cap on the end of them. Yeah, I remember getting one of them from Stockton CB Centre. It lasted all but, oh God, not long. A couple of hours, but you just change the bulb, obviously. You soon fix it like, but dear me. The days. Telephone accessories, I'm not going there with that lot. Have a look at them yourself. Echo Box, ES880, they did a 990, fantastic them. They sounded great, you know, they were warm. The delay was quite nice on them. Yeah, they were alright. It'd be nice to have a listen to one of them one day, just out of interest, you know. I won't use one, I won't annoy you, you know. But it'd be nice to have a little listen. The reverb, just sprung reverb in a bloody box, them awful things. I mean, why? Just why? But anyway, they're there. Right, walkie-talkies. This is more, it's more 49 meg walkie-talkies here. Yeah. I mean, look at this here, a mock ultrasonic alarm for your car. It looks very similar to the old, what's the name of the company now? I used to have one in my own car. I've got the bloody name now. Oh, Christ. Anyway, forget it. Very similar, used to go along, like, a bit like Knight Rider. Oh, do you know, it'll come to me. That's an age thing, that, by the way, forgetting. Cooling fans, nah. No, illuminated Christmas tree. Yeah. And that's about it. I don't know what all this is here. It's my writing, and this is a few bits I've written down in here as well, scribbled down. I have no idea why. Anyway, it's from a long time ago. Cool box. Yeah, I remember these. My dad had one very similar to this. It was orange, like a brown, orangey, browny colour, you know. Yeah. There's a 12-volt one down there. By God, but that was expensive in its day. Except for these, they used the ones my dad had used freezer packs. 12-volt, 24-volt switchable. Yeah, that'll have been a packet, that I bet. Yeah, so this is from 91 to 92. So there you go, guys. It's just a little look really down memory lane. And there we are, Kernow Trading Limited, 50 to 54 Mina Road, St Werburgh's, Bristol, BS2 9XJ. More breakthroughs to come. I have no idea what happened in 92. Was there a breakthrough in, or should I say 93? Was there a breakthrough in 93 on the next catalogue? No idea. Anyway, guys, that's enough of me chit-chatting. I've been going on here forever and a day. This is going to be a long video, this, but I'm not going to chop it too much. And you can just have a look at it. If it's no interest to you, skip it or whatever you want to do. It's just a bit for the old diary, you know. And if you've enjoyed it, a thumbs up wouldn't go amiss for the channel. And a subscription, if you've come this far through, wouldn't go amiss. Thanks for viewing, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.